If you know anything about the history of crypto, you're sure to remember the name Mt. Gox. But what happened after the hack? Welcome to the Daily Forkast March 28, 2022. I'm Justin Soloman of Forkast, covering all things blockchain. Mt. Gox's co-founder Mark Karpeles was arrested in 2015 and years of investigation followed, but now Karpeles is back, and in a bittersweet development, he's built a new company based on the lessons he's learned. And in an exclusive interview, he's also told Forkast about plans to distribute the bitcoins still held by the defunct exchange. We've got that story, plus a whole lot more coming up. Let's get you up to speed from Asia to the world.
Join thousands of NFT traders who already start their day on CryptoSlam.
Turning our attention first to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, entering now the 6th week since the Russian invasion began. Well, now Ukraine's Ministry of Digital Transformation has embarked on a project to chronicle the invasion via NFTs in its new Meta History Museum of War. In a tweet, the museum said it is based on a deep intention to keep the memory of real wartime events via blockchain, as well as to, quote, raise charitable donations to support Ukraine. The Warline NFT collection features screen grabs of news reports, silhouettes of military equipment, and images of explosions representing events throughout the invasion. Each NFT is on sale for 0.15 ETH, or about $490 with proceeds going to the military and civilian aid for the country. Cryptocurrency, of course, has proven a major source of funding for Ukraine throughout the conflict, with almost $100 million received so far via DAOs and direct financing. Meanwhile, over in China, the country has lofty aims for carbon neutrality, and a partnership offering cross-border digital carbon credit trading services is the latest move towards that goal. Chinese real estate giant Greenland Group has formed the partnership through its financial arm with Singapore-based Metaverse Green Exchange, or MVGX. The deal will allow accredited institutional investors to trade digital carbon credits via MVGX's platform on the Guizhou Green Finance and Emissions Exchange, which currently only services Chinese domestic investors. MVGX's co-founder Bao Bai told Forkast that despite China's crackdown on cryptocurrencies, the country is open-minded on leveraging metaverse technology for sustainable efforts. Now, back in 2020, President Xi Jinping proposed aims of having carbon emissions peak by 2030 and reaching carbon neutrality by 2060. You can find those stories and a whole lot more at Forkast.News. Over in the markets, cryptocurrencies are off to a great start this week, with the top 10 firmly in the green Monday morning in Asia, and Bitcoin, the largest crypto by market cap, headed north of the $47,000 mark for the first time since January. Forkast Pradipta Mukherjee takes a look at the market action.
After a couple of months of trading below the $45,000 mark, Bitcoin spiked early Monday Asia time, hitting $47,300, with one expert telling Forkast there were two factors behind the move.
Now, we can look towards the fact that stocks have been trading very, very well. They have been supported despite concerns around the war in Ukraine and, of course, Federal Reserve tightening. And we do need to be mindful that cryptocurrencies have been trading like a risk asset. The second part of it as well is the head of the Russian State Duma for energy. He said, listen, if friendly countries want to pay in rubles or lira or yuan, that is absolutely fine. But he basically said at the end of the interview, you can also trade Bitcoins.
Most of the top 50 cryptocurrencies ranked by CoinGecko mirrored Bitcoin's price action, with the global crypto market capitalization flirting around $2.2 trillion. Bitcoin has also recently been embraced by Terra founder Do Kwon, who plans to rack up $10 billion worth of Bitcoin as reserves for its stablecoin ecosystem. Aside from Bitcoin, Sycamore says Ethereum is something to watch out for after its merger. 2 weeks ago, the Ethereum blockchain passed its final public test before the highly anticipated transition.
What's happened is we've gone from there being the basic mechanism is going to proof of stake now for Ethereum instead of proof of work. You can see that it has been a very productive 2 to 3 weeks for Ethereum. Ethereum's up about 30% as well from its lows, and it's now knocking on the door of 3,300.
The question now is, will we see Bitcoin breaking the $52,000 mark soon? Sycamore says it is possible. For Forkast, I am Pradeepta Mukherjee.
And finally, remember Mt. Gox? Once the largest Bitcoin exchange, it collapsed in 2014 after $1 billion worth of Bitcoin was hacked and stolen. But now founder Mark Karpeles is back, and he's created a company built on lessons he learned. In an exclusive interview with Forkast, he told us about Gox, which aims to be the first comprehensive rating agency for crypto exchanges around the world. Forkast Caroline Wright has more.
Mt. Gox was one of the first Bitcoin exchanges in the world, beginning automated trading back in July 2010. It once represented over 80% of the global trading volume. However, that all came crashing down after 2014's hack. Founder Mark Karpeles was first arrested in Japan in 2015 and eventually indicted on 3 charges. But after years of investigation, in 2019 a panel of judges found him innocent on the charges of embezzlement and of breach of trust. However, he was found guilty of improperly handling electronic funds and handed a 4-year suspended sentence. That means that if he behaves himself and doesn't break the law, he won't go back to prison and is a free man. Karpeles spoke to investigative journalist Jake Adelstein for Forkast on the wisdom he's gained from the saga.
Mark has learned from his own failures and his time and his hubris and his failure to pay attention to key details and infrastructure or delegate authority, that cryptocurrency exchanges can be very vulnerable to hackers or bad actors within a company. And having learned from that bitter experience, he decided that he would put those lessons to use and create something that I think we all feel the cryptocurrency world needs, which is a kind of a ratings agency. Because as far as I know, there is no really good objective ratings agency to tell you this cryptocurrency exchange is reliable, or this one is not, or this one has suspicions of money laundering, or this one failed several years ago.
Gox will provide the ratings by conducting checks on key areas like technology, transparency, people and legal context in order to identify any red flags in operations. Karpeles is also set to issue NFTs, which will grant former Mt. Gox customers a lifetime of free access to the new website.
The NFTs are essentially a key to the database that also has a value in and of itself, as any NFT does. But so not only do you get something that may go up in value, but you also have this key that gives you permanent access to the database at the top levels. So when you consider that Mt. Gox had about over 1 million users, there's 1 million people who'll be eligible to use this service for basically free. So that, as Mark says, they don't get goxed again.
Indeed, Karpeles showing how he's not lost his sense of humour about events, with the name Gox a subtle recognition of the Mt. Gox name having been turned into a term used to describe a crypto exchange's failure. Gox is due to launch in Q3 of this year, with basic ratings information free, but subscribers offered more detailed information, along with alerts on any ratings changes. Meanwhile, Mt. Gox investors who lost out in 2014's hack could be in for some good news.
If you've been following what the trustees have been putting out about Mt. Gox, they are definitely recruiting people and preparing to pay them back. That's public knowledge, but it looks like it's going to be sooner than later, perhaps even this year.
The exchange had around 200,000 bitcoins when it went bankrupt, and their value has appreciated considerably since then. So we'll be keeping watch for more details on that potential reimbursement. For Forkast, I'm Caroline Wright.
And that's the Daily Forkast from our vantage point right here in Asia. For more, visit Forkast.News. I'm Justin Soloman. Until next time.